days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time, and it is time for this. This is going to be exciting. Horse rookie minicamp started today.
That's awesome. We got to see Trey Lance in a Niners helmet
Woo!
and practice jersey for the first time. Trey Sermon, all those guys were all excited about. We're out there. I'm excited about it. It's once again, like I talked about last week, it means we're another week closer to football.
True. One more week closer to football. Man, I'll tell you what, it can't get here fast enough.
Yeah.
But man, some of the stuff with Trey Lance, it's still 50-50 in terms of the fan base. The fan base is still split on this. You got the Jimmy Stans that are coming out in full force and saying, "Oh, it looked awful," and then you got the normal folk who are watching it and going, "Okay, no, I like it." I mean, but there's not a whole lot to garner from what came out, because what came out it wasn't that much. But we'll get there. We'll get there, guys.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Lance, I think that everyone's going to think he looked pretty good. And when you go 20 of 24, you're accurate. You're having a good day, and he definitely had a good day. But I think the excitement of just seeing these guys on the field, the fact that they're starting to get install and learn this offense is going to be what we're looking forward to, because now the season is officially kicked off. After this, we're going to get into OTAs, and then eventually we're going to get into full-fledged minicamp in June. So it is now kicked the timer and everything is going the right way. It's just how we want it to go, and it's a lot of fun. And you know what? Trey Lance, he did look pretty good though, because I saw some video. I know I showed you guys some video, and he looks very good throwing the football. He looked very smooth. Some of the things that he needed to work out are definitely fixed. We talked already pre-show about his base and the fact that his base is now, not too wide. It's very nice. And the fact that his head doesn't bob when he's dropping back, which means he can make his reads and go through his progressions. So he's done all the work he needed to do to get better, and everything looks clean and looks so much better. It was definitely fun to watch. I don't know how much stock I put into the fact he's learned a chunk of the playbook, because I don't know if this is like a normal bite-sized chunk or if this is like a huge bite-sized chunk. If it's normal, that's understandable. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But if it's a big bite-sized chunk, of course, if it's huge chunk, just half the 6-inch sub all at one time, then he might be ready.
Yeah, that's all it's going to be with him, is he's just how quickly he can learn the playbook. Kyle has a notoriously extensive playbook that's hard to learn. That's what's going to prevent him from being on the field or make him be able to be on the field, is how quickly he picks up the playbook. And I'm not knocking him for if he can't play.
Yeah.
At the start, I know that they say it takes well over a year for most people to learn Shanahan's offense. So I think if you're honest with yourself, all the other stuff is there, the physical ability.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all about him understanding the playbook, being comfortable with the reads. And I don't think anyone can read too far in.
Kenny, too sweet.
Too sweet indeed.
I don't think anyone can read too far into these mini camps and how other than technique things like you said, but it's 7-on-7 with guys that some of them aren't even going to be on the team, and others aren't going to play. So
right.
I think some reporters are reading a little too much into it, but that's what's going to determine his playing time, is his knowledge of the playbook.
And performance, but performance stuff is going to take a little bit of time. There's got to be a build up there for Trey Lance. He's going to have to get himself there.
100%.
It's going to take time. But look, man, my big concerns with Trey Lance, all of them, he's kind of addressed. Throwing motion was the very first thing that I talked to you guys about when we were looking at Trey Lance stuff, and I kept saying and kept talking about how the windup.
Yeah.
There was a windup there.
Well, yeah, he would drop the ball a little bit.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't like Tebow levels of bad on the windup, not even close. But it was there, and that's the kind of stuff at the NFL level. That extra second to get the ball around and out in space is the step that Von Miller or, Jadeveon Clowney or, J.J. Watt, any of these elite pass rushers in the NFL, that's all they need is that one extra step.
Yeah.
So cleaning that up, compacting that release was the first thing on my mind. The next was the footwork. As you talked about, the base. The base does look good, and we're going to put up some video here in a second. But the base looks good. He looks solid across the board. I like a lot of the things that I've been seeing out of Trey Lance on film. And you know what, man? Let's not talk about that. Let's just put the film up now so everyone can kind of see it. This is some stuff from the 49ers, correct?
Yeah, you guys can see it. And while you're watching kind of just some of the stuff that happened today, yes, Luigi, most of them were checkdowns. Everything was kind of, short, over the middle, checkdowns to running backs. I'm guessing that has a lot to do with the install. You know what I mean? A lot of the stuff that he is learning is probably the base stuff. I heard complaints today from, reporters that said he wasn't getting outside the pocket. Of course not. Play action comes later. Anyone that's doing an install knows play action doesn't happen day one. That this all, happens in stages. You're working on your handoffs and your base sets, and then you're also working on, these easy throws, making quick reads and just letting the ball go. And so he probably had a read that he was supposed to look at and then check it down.
Well, he's got some tree trunks on him, though.
Oh yeah, he's looking good over there.
No, the legs look nice. They look solid. Look, and the other thing too is a lot of what we're seeing here and a lot of the footage that came out is all footage from warm-ups. These are all warm-ups.
Right, it is. It's warm-ups.
You're not going to be doing a whole lot of moving. It's going to be footwork based. It's going to be short passes outside the numbers, middle of the field, intermediates. You're getting the arm loose. You're getting the hips loose. Getting comfortable with your feet, setting your feet, planting, exploding out, and getting the ball out quick. Like, that's what that's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's what it's supposed to be. So, again, talking heads coming out. Oh, he's just standing in the... Oh, everything this. Oh, just short passes. okay, are we just talking about this? Or are you
Well,
talking about the whole
yeah.
day? And even if you're talking about the whole day, right? Like, how do you?
Oh no, it was the whole day.
Okay.
Check downs all day.
So,
Yeah.
in the famous words of One Phil Classic, how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to just for first day bring them
Right.
out there. By the way, Trey, get that old gunslinger ready. Let's throw those 50-yard bombs.
Well, isn't it 100% intelligent by Kyle Shanahan and Scangarello to give this guy passes he can be successful at, so that way he can have a good day in front of media and look good? Of course, because you don't want the criticism. You want this guy to ease in and have a great day. So that's exactly what you do. You give him the plays and the throws that he can be successful at. And as minicamp goes, then you expand his role. You know what I mean? The thing is, this is an install. This guy is learning the way the 49ers do things. Yes, you can look over a playbook, but still knowing exactly the drop, the timing. Here's 3 steps with a hitch. This and that. Everything makes a big difference. So you just got to learn all the intricacies of the offense. I'm sure that the terminology is a lot different from anything he's used to. Even if he did play in a pro-style offense in college, things are still going to be different, and they're going to be rather lengthy. And all these guys are learning together. And 100% we need to take into consideration is just because Trey Lance knows more of the playbook doesn't mean the guys around him do. So he's going to be, running plays that these other guys are still learning.
Accurate.
Well, I mean, how many of the receivers out there are even drafted players? They're all undrafted, right?
No, not everyone is undrafted.
Not everyone. Not everyone.
Marquise Lee is there.
Okay, and but he's never played for the 49ers.
No, but I'm just saying that they definitely bring in guys. Jawan Jennings was drafted last year.
Oh, he's there. Okay.
Jawan Jennings is there. Usually it's first and second year guys that are there.
Correct.
That are participating, but they don't have enough guys to go 11 on 11 or none of that.
And that's not what you're looking to get out of rookie minicamp. You're looking to get the basics in. You want them starting off day one having the same level of same knowledge of the system, base level of knowledge of the system as your vets, as your 3rd year, 4th year players, guys who've been around for a little bit. You don't want to come in day one of actual training camp, and being in a situation, in a position where you have the rooks trying to get caught up to where the vets are, or you're slowing the vets down to get the rooks caught up.
Yeah.
The whole point of this is to get the rookies to a point where everyone is starting at the same spot and everyone's starting in a place where the team can take the next step.
Well, and they're all trying to understand exactly how the 49ers do things, how practice is, what you do at the facility, the timing, all that stuff is going to be important. That way when they get into these other, the full mini camp, that when they're there, they can just kind of fit in and already be able to go with the flow and know what everyone's doing. You know what? Besides Trey Lance, though, some of the guys had good days.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Mitchell had a good day. I know he caught a deep route down the sideline. Beat Justin Hilliard. In fact, smoked him. So that's really impressive.
He's really fast, though.
him coming out of the backfield. Another big point about him was the fact that now he's so much lighter than he was in college. Went from 218 to 201. So he's planning on playing around 208. So he's going to be a lot faster, but still have, a powerful, ability and mindset. Someone else that had a really good day is Diamador Lenore. Diamador Lenore had an interception of Trey Lance. And he was playing right. He was playing right corner. He was playing on the outside and played really well. Ambry Thomas, they just didn't even throw his way because he couldn't get anyone open on him.
Oh, you like to see that?
Yeah, so I mean that's good.
It makes you feel good inside.
So are you worried about the season's offense then?
Yes, I am 100% worried about it. After that, Hufanga had an interception today, but also got whooped by Josh Peterson, who Horst hates.
I don't hate him.
Too slow, can't play in the NFL. Too light, don't like him.
You did say all those
exact
things.
Quote.
That's a direct quote, actually.
Light and slow.
Using your words against you. How dare he? How dare he?
But no, I mean it's going to be hard. I think it's hard for
Tebow.
It's hard. Well, he was playing man coverage. It's hard for any of these guys to play man coverage and be able to stick with guys, especially if you don't know routes, schemes, whatever when it's doing. So don't read anything into performances as far as that goes. I think it's fun to kind of talk about what they did. But I mean, we can't glean anything into this.
Yes, you can. You can overreact. It's Overreact Friday, right? It's rookie camp. It's week 1 rookie camp overreaction day. That's what today is.
You mean you can't judge a running back truly because they're wearing shorts and a t-shirt?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
you can't completely, but yes, you can glean. If you are a good evaluator of talent, yes, you can glean a lot from it. How quick he changes direction. gets upfield, the way he runs as far as a forward lean or not.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot you can learn. So that's why I do disagree with a lot of people that say, oh, shirts and shorts don't mean anything. Yes, they do, because seeing them in person is a lot different than seeing them on film, because a lot of times it'll confirm what you saw on film, or you'll see something that makes you hesitate, like, wait, why is the film telling me something other than what I see in person?
Mm-hmm.
And it does make a difference. And people that don't think so are probably not good evaluators of talent.
Well, and they probably just don't understand, too, how, they don't know how to watch film and diagnose it. They just don't know what they don't truly know what they're seeing.
Right.
Right? They see something, but they're not quite sure what it is. Yeah.
What exactly is the Jimmy G offense?
I'm assuming it's what Grant Cohn describes as, Jimmy stays in the pocket and doesn't move around and checks the ball down.
Well, what did people think? What do they think that this offense was going to look like with Trey Lance? Does he not need to learn the base offense first?
Yes.
100% he needs to learn how to play
49ers,
inside the pocket first.
49ers fans are convinced that Kyle Shanahan is going to create a whole new offense.
No.
This is what drives me nuts about fans sometimes, and just in general, about understanding of a game.
Yeah.
Good coaches, really good coaches, know how to make things fit, make pieces fit. Great coaches know how to balance between expanding and making things fit. They can do both of those things. The 49ers fans are just thinking, because we have a guy who's mobile now, we're just going to change everything. And it's like, no, we're going to do the same things that we were doing, but also we can run read options. Also, we can get him out of the pocket.
Yeah.
Also, we can have these types of packages on the field with these types of players, because it creates mismatches. You can put more wide receivers on the field and use Jalen Hurts as a running back. You can, put Elijah Mitchell on the field, or put Raheem Mostert split out wide and spread a defense out and force defenses to come out in nickel and dime packages before motioning guys back in to run that downhill and just run down your throat. You can do different things and setups with your offense, different formations, packages, personnels, because of what Trey Lance can do. You're not going to change your entire strategy, philosophy, and idea of how offense works as a coach because you have Trey Lance.
I'm going to give an analogy. For anyone that's seen Tokyo Drift, okay, he was a pretty good driver already, right?
Yep.
Sean, he was a good driver, and then he goes over there and he drifts. He wants to jump in and drift right away, and he can't.
Nope.
So just because Trey Lance is a good driver doesn't mean he's ready to drift yet. He's got to learn how to drift first.
Yep.
And Kyle Shanahan's going to teach him the basics first. He's got to rip that e-brake first. He's got to learn it, okay? I'm just telling you that there are stages in how this goes and how you implement the offense. And if you think you're going to implement this offense right away by moving the pocket and putting in the play action, if you are a coach that puts in play action day one, you know who you are? You are coaching youth football, and you're going to lose because that's not what you do. And if you're a reporter that thinks that's what you're supposed to do, you also should never coach and never think about coaching.
Your name also might be Grant Cohn.
You don't understand football. You do not put that in day one. That's not day one install.
No.
Day one install is your base, drop back throws, your check downs, and your run game. That is what you're getting involved.
Always.
They're not doing screens. They're not doing wide receiver screens. None of that is in.
You mean to tell me that they're not going to be doing fancy schmancy reverse sweep actions?
No.
They're not going to pull out Redonkulous on day one?
No.
Why not?
They're not pulling out anything crazy.
If you don't practice Redonkulous on day one, you're not going to be ready for the NFL.
It's true.
That's how it works.
I mean, it makes me laugh because the thing is, you can once he learns all the base offensive stuff and he has a grasp of the playbook and the play action goes in. Once he gets to training camp, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, what could Kyle Shanahan do with this guy?" You know what Kyle Shanahan's going to do? He's going to have him fit into the offense and then eventually have a wrinkle, and that's it. If you're expecting some different offense, you're not going to get it. He already has read option in his offense.
True.
100% already has it.
Well, he saw it with C.J. Beathard.
It's just now he has a quarterback that can operate it at a whole nother level.
Stick to the basics. Stick to the basics. Stick to the basics.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes I wonder if Grant Cohn knows the difference between a sneeze and a wet fart.
Wait,
That's
Except he's not the dumbest smart person I've ever known. He's just the not smart.
It's a good question.
Dumb person I've ever known.
telling me
Okay.
that Shanahan's playbook has plays that he might not have run with the Niners yet.
It's probably true.
100%.
It's crazy.
Well,
What?
and you
I
got to
know.
also remember,
That's
I
nuts.
don't know how many people understand this, but when you're playing a certain team, it doesn't mean your whole entire playbook is open, like that you're going to run it. Some things just don't work. And so what you do is you put in a certain game plan and an install that's a certain amount of plays.
I mean, dude, the example I can think of this is my first year as an O coordinator at Tokay.
Yeah.
Right? Where you were up in the booth. Actually, you were on the sideline with me that day because they didn't have a booth there at Stag or Edison.
Edison.
We were playing Edison, and we installed all week. Read option because I figured the speed they would over pursue. We could pull and run with my quarterback, who was one of my better runners, and then my running back, who was one of the faster guys on the field. And it actually the opposite happened. Right? They were so fast they were just blowing things up.
Right.
Blowing things up. And finally, I just kind of looked at you and I was like, man, I'm just kind of lost here because everything we've been working on this week, it's just not working. And you looked at me and you were just like, back to the basics.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to go back to basics. Go to your power I formation and just run the ball, 4s, 5s, 6s, dives, blasts. Just run it straight at him. Take the speed out of the equation and just run it straight at him. And we did. Made a switch.
Yep.
We went power I, and we won that game. And we just ran the ball the rest of the game straight downhill, 8 up clock, and just punched in at the end of the game and got a dub. And that's kind of what needs to happen. Is you just got to go back to basics. And when you're just getting started like this team is, that's what your focus has to be. Has to be on making sure that you can do the base. Because if you can do the base stuff, the easy things, running downhill, coming out from under center, good exchange with the running back, good exchange with the center, you can do those things. You can go on and have minor success.
Right.
Especially with this team. Nick Mullins doesn't make mistakes last year and do stupid things. This team is a playoff team.
Yeah, I see that we got some stuff. I see that Tommy says, Grant asks good questions. I didn't say he doesn't ask good questions. I never even said he's not a beat writer. But the one thing I will say is, if you're going to talk about things and you're going to criticize people, make sure you understand them.
Well, yeah, make sure you understand what you're criticizing, because if you don't, you just look like
because Tommy may not know, but he said that Kyle Shanahan did bad today because he didn't run anything outside the pocket with Trey Lance, and that is foolish. Well, and I'm not going to back off of that. It's foolish.
No, it's a foolish thing to say because, again, you don't understand the dynamics of a football team. You don't understand structure.
Right.
How to teach things.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a way to teach things.
Yeah.
All of us in this room have coached.
Yeah.
There is a way to teach skills. There's ways to teach systems, and those ways aren't the same. They're different. You have to approach in a different way. Skills are going to be much more focused on little details.
Yeah.
System is focused on little details also, but you can use your skill implementation as a way to prepare you for the system install part, for the basics of system. So that way, not everyone is having to work on all of that at one time.
Agreed.
You can work on it individually and then bring it all together and combine. I mean, look, at the end of the day, man, I don't know what anyone. If you were expecting him to come out and just throw the ball deep all day long, it's like
it's not going to happen.
It's foolish.
I think the one thing with it, and I'm gonna do this because I do watch Grant Cohn sometimes because I want to see what he's saying and what angle he's coming from. I will say this about Grant Cohn. Sometimes he's great, and he asks good questions, and he does a good job. And then sometimes he goes over the top. And that's the part that frustrates me the most is because I don't think we need that over the top as people that enjoy this team. We don't. But one thing I will always go on is my knowledge of what I know about football and the coaches that I've been taught by. And I've been in clinics with all the guys. I've been in clinics with Mike Singletary and John Robinson and, Bill Walsh and all these guys, and I've listened to them talk. And so I have an idea of how to install an offense. That's where I got it from. That's where I was learning everything. And I think that's the thing is it's like when you're looking through it as a coach's prism, you understand what Kyle Shanahan's doing. And all I'm trying to convey to everyone else is that's what's going on. So don't read too much into it. It's basic install right now.
And that's all it should be.
And really, Grant Cohn just, maybe he doesn't know. And that's fine. He doesn't know that, then he can criticize Kyle. But we really need to just make sure we understand that as people that are fans of the team, people that watch the team, that this is exactly normal what a team would do in an install right now.
Yeah, I bet you if you go to any camp right now, the quarterbacks are doing the same thing. All 32 of them.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe not the Ravens because they run almost everything out of.
Well, they also don't have a rookie quarterback. You know what I mean? This is rookie minicamp. You know what I mean? So it's like you're going to get basic install. When you get to training camp, of course, it's going to look a lot different.
Yeah.
In fact, minicamp will look different because we'll have all the OTAs, everything in the middle, and it's going to look a lot different. And that's what you can expect. There's stages in this. How much you want to bet that tomorrow looks different than today?
I mean, that's part of it, right?
It is.
It has to.
100%.
That's what growth is. If you start at the very top of the mountain, there's nowhere to go but down. You have to start at the bottom and work your way up. That's just how it works.
No, 100%. And you know what? I think that this is that we're just getting a glimpse. I think that's all that rookie minicamp really is a glimpse into these players, just getting them on the field. It's more for feel good, right? It makes us feel good to see football finally going. And you get to see these guys just where they're starting out. I agree with some of the guys earlier that said they saw Trey Lance, in the helmet, and it was like, this is the first time. And I agree. I like that. It was the first time we got to see him, and it was like, yes, this is real. I can't wait to see what he can do. So, I mean, besides technique things, I don't know how much else we can read into it, but I thought that was really good.
Agreed.
I think we've pretty much read what you can.
Yeah, all you can read into it. That's it.
And it's not very much, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
outside of the technique.
The other thing we can get out of this is they did go through the rookie jersey numbers. So we do know all the rookie jersey numbers. Of course, Trey Lance is number 5. You had Aaron Banks at 62.
Nice.
Not a lot of linemen in camp, so you can't see a lot of work there. Trey Sermon is 28. I know he had put on his Instagram he was going to be 22, but he was 28.
Nice.
Ambry Thomas is 41.
Interesting.
Jalen Moore is 76. Diameter Lenore is 38.
Nice.
Talanoa Hufanga is 29.
Nice.
Elijah Mitchell, 49.
49.
Alfredo Gutierrez, the Pasta Man, 77.
That's a good number.
Justin Hilliard, 58. Josh Peterson, 83. Elijah Sullivan, 59. And Austin Watkins, number 7.
Very good.
It is. So, I mean, those numbers all came out. Did anyone else notice that there's a number missing?
Yeah. There happens to be 25 was held out.
Yeah. Who wears 25, and why wouldn't 25 be used?
It's drawing a blank.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank.
I
Horse?
think it was the Shermanator.
Shermanator. Nice. So, Horse, what do you think that means? Do you think that's a signal, or are we just reading into this?
Oh, I'm pretty sure he's coming back.
Yeah, I mean, I think he could be. I definitely think he could be coming back. I think the fact they didn't issue his number means at least the players there have, respect for the fact that he might come back, or that they're holding on to the fact that he possibly could come back. But I also saw Alex Faulkner said Diablo Leroy he changed that number. 100%. Yeah. He will change it when he makes the team because he's not wearing 38. I think a lot of these numbers will change. I wouldn't get too excited. Trey Lance's won't. Banks maybe won't. But I think other than that, I think you could see other guys change. I don't think Jalen Moore would change his number, but I could see Hufanga changing his number depending on who's available.
Well, there was also another change too, right? You had Juwan Jennings going from 17 to 15.
Yeah, Juwan Jennings.
Maybe freeing up 17 for Jalen Hurd.
I think so.
I think that may be what's going on there. Look, I think the Richard Sherman number is interesting, and I think it's not crazy and it's not stupid for 49ers fans to read into that. There's nothing crazy about it. There's nothing stupid about it. They're in talks, obviously. That is being reported by the 49ers. It is being reported by Richard Sherman. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that the reason why is they came in, picked their numbers, and someone was like, hey, by the way, what's up with this 25 number? And they were just like, you know what, right now we're just going to hold off on that. You guys aren't going to do it. That's kind of just an off-limits number. We're just seeing how things play out. It very well could be the case, and that could be what's going on with Richard Sherman. I think it's going to be a 50-50 split amongst the fans, right? Like some fans are going to hate that. Some fans are going to love that. I'm seeing a lot of fans who just can't get off of the only reason Richard Sherman should come back is if he's going to be a coach kick, which is just not going to happen. So just let it go, folks. He still wants to play, and he's going to play somewhere this year. It's just a matter of where and when he signs.
Gary says that it says Mark Fields is number 25 on the 49ers website.
Interesting.
Yeah, but
Interesting.
Don't worry. JaMychal Hasty also wears 38 because when you're in camp, you'll have a lot of double numbers, so get used to that. So maybe we're reading too much into it, but I know that a lot of people were thinking that there was going to be something there. The one thing I will I will wonder as well is, shouldn't Richard Sherman, Alex, if he is really planning on coming back, shouldn't he be more willing to come faster? Because if Diamador Lenore and Ambry Thomas really start to impress these guys, could the 49ers think maybe we don't need Sherman? Maybe we got young guys that we can get it done with, and maybe we will move on.
Look, it's probable. It's possible. At the end of the day, I think Richard Sherman isn't in a rush, and I think the reason why Richard Sherman's not in a rush is because he wants to try and get the most out of the contract and out of the deal. That's kind of his thing, right? Like he wants to get paid. He wants to get that money. So he's not going to want to rush. But if you're the 49ers, you want to get him in.
Yeah.
Because you want him working with those young guys as soon as you possibly can. Whether or not it's going to happen that quick or that fast, I mean, that's beyond me, because I'm not in Richard Sherman's head and his brain and what he's thinking and what is important to him. But, man, I'll tell you what, if I'm the Niners and you don't have to overpay that much to get him in sooner rather than later, just pull the trigger and get it done.
I'll tell you one thing I did find interesting was the fact that Marquise Lee was in camp. You know, he's in there getting a tryout with the 49ers, made a nice catch over the middle. And so you would, at first there was a thought maybe the 49ers wouldn't be interested in getting another wide receiver, but the fact that Lee was in, of course you need receivers to catch the ball from Trey Lance in these camps. That's why you have the tryout players. But, you know, do you guys think Marquise Lee has an outside chance to make this team?
I think he does, because, let me rephrase this. I think it shows that he does that. Well, the fact that they've still been trying to make moves for other receivers. And I don't, if Marquise Lee is back to like the 2018 version of himself, he's one of the top 6 receivers on that roster.
Yeah.
It just all depends how he's doing. I know he's dealt with some injuries. Then he didn't play last year due to COVID for New England. So it just all depends how he looks. If he's to his peak, he plays. Like, he makes the team, I think. If he's not, then he won't.
Well, you're referring to the fact that there's rumors that they tried to trade for Deshaun Hamilton from Denver until he tore his ACL. And in fact, something was going to get done as far as a trade, and then he tore his ACL away from the facility. And so that changes that. So maybe the 49ers were interested in getting another wide receiver. Once again, a rumor. Definitely don't know how much that really means, but at least rumored that they were involved and possibly interested in picking up another wide receiver. So maybe they still are in the market for a wide receiver.
Very well could be. And don't be surprised if the Niners make a move and trade for someone else if they can't get the guy they were looking at and targeting. If that does come to fruition and pass, that you know they are in the market looking for a wideout.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked if they make another move, or try to make another move anyway, before training camp officially starts.
And there's some other guys still out there too. I mean, there's
100%.
other wide receivers. I know Golden Tate is still out there.
It's true.
Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think Golden Tate would be an option, but I think they're going to wait on those guys.
Des Bryant wants to play too.
Des Bryant wants to play. I mean,
True.
but the 49ers could have took a shot on Des last year.
No, I'm just mentioning another veteran.
Because I know Des was really tied because of Kendrick Bourne and all that, really putting it out there, working out together and stuff. But when it came down to it, I mean, he signed with the practice squad of Baltimore originally.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Niners never brought him in on the practice squad means they didn't see it from Des.
They must not have.
He did play all right when he got in at the end of the year.
No, he didn't play bad, but I mean, he wasn't out there lighting it up either.
No, and I think those days for Des Bryant are pretty much gone.
I mean, but if you have a young guy, wouldn't you rather have a young guy if he can accomplish the same things Des Bryant can?
Yeah.
I mean, because Des at least used to be fast. Now he's not fast. So now Jawan Jennings has a similar build and everything to Des Bryant. So
It's true.
The only reason I would bring in Des is if you had like no veterans.
Yeah.
But they have some.
So that was interesting. Also, safety Blake Countess also was there trying out, and I guess he made some nice plays today as well. So those are guys that really stood out that were basically veterans that were trying out for the team. So once again, the 49ers working out another safety. We've had all the links to Tony Jefferson and now to Blake Countess. So do we think they're still going to go with the safety? I mean, they drafted Hufanga. They still have Marcel Harris, Tarvarius Moore, and then, of course, Jimmy Ward and Tart.
So the question now becomes, too, right, with the Hufanga signing, was that draft pick, are they seeing or viewing him as you had stated when it happened? Is this a signal that maybe he's going to be in a little bit more of a hybrid role, almost like a linebacker?
Yeah. Who is Luigi talking about? He said, why would you give a draft capital or trade for a slot receiver unless Tate wants too much to get him? Oh, he's basically saying, why would you trade for this guy if you could get Tate for cheaper? You know what?
Deshaun Hamilton, his contract's not that big.
No.
It would have been fairly small.
Well, it's small, but it was going to be a late round pick too. It was going to be like 6th or 7th round because they were going to cut him. So you were going to get him for like pennies on the dollar. It was a 2018 third round pick.
Yeah.
So he's a young guy that you could get, and maybe they like something on film. Maybe, because they've been in San Francisco since 2017, they obviously covered him in the draft process and knew him pretty well. So that would be why. I think with Golden Tate, the difference is the money because he's going to at least get the veteran minimum, which is a lot more money than what, Deshaun Hamilton was going to be making. So
accurate. Those
are the big differences there. But I think it is interesting that the 49ers are hovering around wide receivers and hovering around safeties, whether they make another move or not. I know there was a lot of talk that it was going to be Jefferson and Sherman that were going to be coming in, but I don't think anything's set in stone yet. Also, there could be players that get cut.
True.
Now that the rookies are coming in, players could get cut. I know I've seen that maybe now that Joe Tryon is ready to go in Tampa, they might be cutting some D linemen or AD linemen. So more and more guys are going to become available, and it'll be interesting to see what the 49ers do overall.
Yeah, I think those positions are super interesting because maybe they're having a little bit of trouble getting Tony Jefferson to sign on for what they want. And so they're seeing if Countess can bring a similar skill set that they wanted out of Jefferson for cheaper. All I know is that both him and Marquise Lee have extensive NFL playing time. So those are the two guys I would look to have a chance.
Yeah, and I wonder how much Hufanga ends up working with the linebackers here pretty soon. How much is he going to be considered a hybrid guy that plays kind of the Marcel Harris role that Marcel Harris played late last year? Also, Talanoa Hufanga is an excellent blitzer. And I know there's a lot of people that believe, and I've been talking to a lot of people on the comment section, that, the Niners are going to blitz more than they ever have before, and Hufanga could be a perfect guy to do the blitzing. He's very good at that kind of thing. So putting him in the box, in obvious pass downs and letting him blitz could be very beneficial for the 49ers. And that way they don't have to blitz Fred Warner because Fred Warner, when he blitzes, is not in coverage, and he's one of the best cover linebackers in the league. So just schematically wise, that makes a lot of sense.
And that is an interesting question there, Dames. He said, do you think the wide receiver moves signal maybe that something's wrong with Jalen Hurd? No,
I don't think so.
I think it's too early for that because it's rookie minicamp and Hurd's not going to be there right now at the moment.
Right.
So I think this is just preparation, right? I think they're just trying to get some extra bodies in there, NFL bodies in there for Trey Lance to work with.
Well, I think it also signals, especially with the possibility of a trade, that it signals that maybe they're not happy with some of the guys at the end of the group.
Juwan Jennings might not be a safe. Travis Benjamin might not be a safe.
I think those guys are definitely possibilities. Also, Richie James. You know what I mean? Yeah. I honestly think they've been looking to kind of replace Richie James, but you got to remember, this guy would have been an improvement over River Craycraft, right? So if you have River Craycraft in camp and you can get somebody better, you might as well do it. Last year they brought in Tavon Austin and all those guys. You just have to make sure you insulate yourself in case of injury. But I don't think it's basically because of Jalen Hurd. But I think they're probably cautious about Jalen Hurd and the productivity he could have this year. But I do think there's a lot of options at receiver still out there, and that's why they're going to keep taking a look, make sure they can improve the room, because you don't know who they were ultimately targeting in the draft. Maybe they had somebody else they were going to get and decided to go running back. Another interesting draft tidbit was the fact that D'Amico Ryans was the one that was saying, go with Elijah Mitchell, the running back, over the linebacker that they were looking at. So I thought that was interesting that the linebackers coach, defensive coordinator would be like, you know what? No, let's not get the linebacker. Let's get the running back. I think that means he's pretty set on the guys. Did you guys also hear about the grades, the gold helmets? Do you know the 49ers give gold helmets to guys they really like in the draft?
I did not know about this, but I know you had mentioned it.
Yeah.
What did you hear?
They have two guys that they gave double gold helmets to.
Okay.
Trey Lance.
Okay.
And Talanoa Hufanga. Right? I think that was the interesting one, was Hufanga was a double helmet.
That is really, really interesting.
So they must have been like crazy excited to get him in that area. So, I mean, they were huge on Hufanga, and that makes me even more happy about it. I know he got beat today, but his first day, and I think he's going to have a fun role. They're learning base defense right now. They're just out there running man. They're not running any zone coverages, or probably maybe zone, but some base zone stuff. It's nothing major. No shells, nothing to confuse Trey Lance. So I think that's going to be fun to watch, just to see what they do with him in the hybrid role.
Look, I don't think that's a rumor. I think that's just nonsense, Magnum. I don't think there's any way that they're going to be getting Julio Jones.
I think there's a slight chance.
I think we should talk about this. I think we could have a conversation about this.
Okay, let's have a conversation, because I don't think this is doable. I don't think it's possible.
I want to hear why.
So, a few reasons. One, what is it going to cost? If they are going to if
it's
they're
not a first round pick.
If it's not a first round pick,
trade him to
it's hard, because I want to do that, especially if it's not a first. But I want to know what the cap number is going up to.
Well, it's after. Well, I remember they're trading him after June 1, so it's less of a cap hit.
Less of a cap hit, but this is the last year of his contract, correct?
No,
he's got one more year.
Yeah, but you don't think he's not going to renegotiate?
I mean, he'll probably renegotiate.
100% he would renegotiate. But I think that one of the things, the reason to look at it is it's like this. I'll argue your point first, because I did hear a good argument on this, was the fact that you don't want to trade a second round pick because you already don't have a first round pick.
Well, that is, again, future draft capital, Julio Jones. Future draft capital, Julio Jones. Yeah. I'm okay if it's a second.
Yeah.
My problem and concern becomes how long, if this, you don't, not a second round pick for like a 1 year, 2 year rental.
Why not?
When you already don't have a first.
If I told you could trade a second round pick,
but the reason they win the Super Bowl?
Right.
Listen, but we thought the same thing about Emmanuel Sanders. That didn't work out.
Yeah, but
actually, Jimmy missed a throw, or he would have been.
I'm aware, but
we gave up a third and a fourth round pick, but we got to the Super Bowl. Will we have gotten there without Emmanuel Sanders?
No, of course not.
Yeah, so if now I can tell you we have a 50-50 chance of winning the Super Bowl if we get Julio Jones. Are you willing to give up a second round pick?
Of course I'm willing to give up.
And you're over there agonizing. I'm
agonizing because it's one of those things where it's like, what kind of money are we going to have left to keep all of these guys around? I'm worried that we're going to bring this guy in. He's going to roll for 2 years. If he gets a Super Bowl, he's like, sweet, cool. I'm going to go get paid one more time. See you later.
Yeah, who cares? He left. You got a Super Bowl.
Oh.
When was the last time we won a Super Bowl?
I'm greedy. I want more than one.
But let me tell you this: you have to get one before you can get two.
I know you have to get one before you can get two. You got to put your pants on before you can put your shoes on.
That's not true.
I don't do it that way either, just for that reason, to prove everybody wrong. But still,
Luigi saying can't play Julio. Who sits? You 100% can play him. You can play three receivers. Why can't you play Julio, Brandon Ayuk, and Deebo Samuel together?
You can 100%.
100% with George Kittle and then a single back.
Yeah, that's fine.
You could do that a lot of the time in the game. Do I think they're going to do it? No, I ultimately don't. But I'm saying, why couldn't they?
They very well
And
could.
you know, what did Kyle Shanahan say in this press? If you could get a Julio Jones, you do it. You go get the biggest, fastest, strongest guy, and you do it. So, do I think they're going to do it? No. But am I going to rule it out completely? No.
Or is she going to rule it out completely?
No, definitely not.
Why not?
Because, first of all, there's shared history together. Second of all, Shanahan and Lynch have definitely shown that they will roll the dice.
True.
If they think it'll make them a winner. Whether you're talking about the trade for Sanders, the trade for Ford, the moving up to get Trey Lance when that's who they wanted. They've definitely shown that they'll go out and make the moves that they need to make. And if they feel that they need him, if they feel that Julio Jones is the piece that puts them over the top, I don't think they'd have any hesitation.
Let me bring up this point too, Horst, to expand on what you said.
Thank you for sharing that too, by the way.
Expand on
this.
Makes
me feel a little bit better, actually.
If you put Julio Jones out there, that now means when you play the Rams, Jalen Ramsey has to cover Julio Jones. That means Brandon Ayuk and Deebo are going against second and third corners.
Yeah, that's nice.
You know what they're doing? Eating all day. You know who George Kittle's not going against now? not the best corner. They can't put him on him anymore. So now he's eating too. Those are huge matchup issues that can't even be thought about by getting this guy. And we've talked about the effects Jalen Hurd could have. Take Raheem Mostert off the field and put Jalen Hurd as the 5th option, who can also motion back and run the ball. Yeah, scary.
Lou G, why did you pay Juice then? Because if in a world where this does happen, you don't have to have all of them on the field at once.
No, you don't.
Can interchange them, which means they're fresh.
Yeah, and
that's not a bad thing. Them being fresh is not a bad thing.
No, I mean the thing is Debo and Julio are both going to need to be rotating in and out. 100% they're going to.
Doesn't Julio have a no trade clause also?
You don't think he's going to waive that to come to San Francisco?
That's what I mean. No. Alex, no. It's not me.
Yeah,
Alex Faulkner said other teams have more draft capital and therefore more leverage in the Julio sweepstakes. But if Julio has a no trade clause, all of that leverage goes out the window because if he doesn't want to go there.
Hey, remember, the player in the long run has the leverage.
Correct.
Look at Trent Williams. There were better offers for Trent Williams than the 49ers. But Trent Williams said, I'm not going anywhere than San Francisco. True. And if the player doesn't show up for the physical, the trade is null and void. It doesn't go through.
Accurate.
So a player can, yes, put his foot down and stop trades from happening.
True.
They have an ipso facto trade clause.
It's true.
So that could definitely happen. I'm not telling you it's going to. I'm just saying you have to at least leave the window open for that being a possibility. Do I think they would rather spend the money on Fred Warner and securing other guys? Yes. But 100%, if they knew they were going to win the Super Bowl with Julio Jones, if I knew they were going to win the Super Bowl with Julio Jones, I would make that move. I wouldn't even think twice about it. Oh, we're going to be in cap hell next year? Cares? We got a championship. We'll worry about that, later on. But you got Trey Lance next year. You don't have Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, I think if they make that move, it might signal the end of Jimmy in San Francisco after the season.
It could. Well, it could even be before, even during.
Oh Lord.
But I think that they could work it out. But I don't think they would do it unless it was 100% that they could make it work financially and also with the trade capital.
Also true.
But I don't think it's going to take as much to get rid of Julio as people think, because I think they're trying to get him off the books. They're in Atlanta. And he's a 35-year-old who's off injured. He played 12 games last year.
Yeah.
That was like a career high, too.
He misses a lot of games. And that's why
I feel like that was an exaggeration.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was a career high. But him playing with injuries, with him not having to play as many downs, it won't be as bad.
Very true. Horace, you know what? We didn't get to any of your schedule prediction stuff. You got a little caught up that day. You had some stuff going on. Did you want to give the audience here any
just my thoughts on it? Or,
yeah. Just thoughts and feelings and
all right. Yeah, one second, let me pull it up.
No, absolutely. Well, Horace is getting that ready too. I mean, look, that's a great one. The Julio Jones potentiality coming to San Francisco is entirely possible. It's entirely doable.
Yeah.
Teams, McVay, I mean, you've seen the moves the NFC West made, all the wide receivers they drafted, what the Chiefs have been able to do with all the weapons they have offensively, what Tampa did last year with all the weapons they had offensively. The NFL is no longer a place where you can't have too many toys offensively.
Mm-hmm.
These coaches are getting diverse. These coaches are getting very creative with their offense and how they implement guys and get guys into game plans. There's enough touches to go around.
Yeah. And I mean, there's just, you can't fall into the thing is, we always say like, oh, I'm worried about this guy getting playing time or that guy getting playing time. But if you remember right, last year there were games we were without Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk.
Very true.
And George Kittle. So it's like you need weapons to insulate you in case that happens.
It's true.
It's true. But once again, it's a lot of it's going to depend on Jalen Hurd. If we get to minicamp and Jalen Hurd's out there tearing it up, he's out back playing again, maybe they don't do it.
Maybe you don't need Julio Jones at all. Megan said that's for future Kyle and future Lynch to deal with. Accurate indeed.
True.
And then Horace, we'll let you get going here. Give everyone your thoughts. How you feeling about the schedule? What are you thinking?
Okay, the schedule as a whole, it actually was a bit softer than I was expecting.
Okay.
I mean, I think opening on the road on the East Coast is never your ideal matchup, but if you're looking for that matchup, the Lions, that's, I mean, a pretty good road game.
Sure.
At Philadelphia is winnable. I mean, then you've got the little tough streak there with Green Bay, Seattle, and Arizona. Those are all going to be tough. Well, if the Packers still have Aaron Rodgers, those are all going to be tough games. Then you have the bye. Then you have the Colts, which is another tough game. Then you go into the Bears, Cardinals, Rams. So that stretch right there to me from September 26th to the end of October is what's going to make the season.
Yeah. Why'd you freeze?
I don't know. I thought you were going to say something.
No,
Oh, no.
I'm just waiting for you.
No, we're letting you roll here, man.
No, you were like, I don't know. You looked like you were going to say something.
No, I was laughing at a comment.
Okay.
Yes.
So, anyways, I feel like that stretch there from Packers to the second Cardinals, second Rams game in there is what makes the season right there. That's going to be a tough stretch, and they have to go at least 500 there, probably win more games than they lose in there. I think they're very capable of doing that. And then after that, it kind of slows down. Jacksonville, if they're to their capability, Jacksonville shouldn't be a problem this year.
Yeah.
The Vikings are beatable, especially at home. Going to Seattle's tough, but I don't think we're going to see the same Seattle this year, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think this is the most beatable Seattle's been. First, that's my personal opinion. Bengals, Falcons, Titans is a tough one, but Texans is another. I mean, obviously it's the NFL playing other professional players, but I feel there's 4 or 5 games that I'd be shocked if they lost.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? Like, and I think that's a lot for right now, or for one season. I mean, I'm thinking, did you guys give win predictions?
We did.
I'm going to say, wait, are we giving sliding scales?
No sliding scales.
No sliding scales.
Never sliding scales.
We don't do sliding scales.
I did give one sliding scale game, Horst, and that was the Texans game because it was all dependent on whether or not Deshaun Watson was there.
But he gave a sliding scale on the score.
On the score. That was it. No actual sliding scales.
I'm not going to go all the way into score predictions and stuff for every game.
Okay.
But I'm going to go 12-5.
Ooh, okay.
Is what I see them going.
I like it.
This is if the Niners are healthy. 12-5.
Healthy in the 49ers team. We got a 12-5.
I was
13-4.
13-4, yeah.
14-3.
Yeah.
I'm 21-0.
Well,
I know how that's. Oh, okay.
I think we're forgetting that I was the winner and champion of Lock It Up.
No one's forgotten. We just don't like to bring it up.
You know, I think they're going to win anywhere between 6 and 17 games.
Pretty good.
The call.
Pretty
it's
good.
A safe bet. You know, that was one of the things on one of the Facebook groups. I posted our video.
Yeah.
Posted a link to it, and people started commenting and giving their score predictions, which I thought, or their record predictions.
Right.
I thought it was great. And then on one of the posts in one of the groups, the sliding scale predictions started coming in, and I just started laughing at the people who were like, "We're going to go anywhere between 8 and this and 14 and 3," and I was just like, "That's not a prediction. That's you covering as many bases as you possibly can cover."
I've seen a lot of 13.
Go with your gut and stick with it.
A lot of 13-4s coming through, so some people agree with me. I like it.
Yeah,
Gary with 21-0.
I respect you more, even if you're wrong, and you're a negative person right now, and say they're only going to win 6 games.
Yeah,
just
if you just grow a pair and make a prediction rather than the sliding scale.
Yeah.
But I hate that. Well, if this happens, we're gonna win 6 games. If this happens, we're gonna win 8.
Yeah,
think about last year, guys. Right? Like we sat in here and we talked and we talked and we talked, and we kept saying how the Niners were a team last year that could have gone 13-3. Like that was most of our predictions. That's how most of us felt in this room, that they could go 13-3, and the only way they weren't going to go 13-3 was barring an insane amount of injuries.
Yeah,
but we stuck with our 13-3. That's what our gut told all of us for the most part. And then it just so happened that, crazy amount of injuries happened, and, our predictions go out the window, and it is what it is. But, if you had given us a list of guys when we were doing the prediction show of who was going down and when, I would have been like, oh, yeah, we're not going 13-3.
Yeah.
We'll be lucky if we win a game, playoffs.
Did Megan just predict a tie?
Yeah, she did.
Who's the tie, Megan?
Well, and you know what? I think a lot of people were like, I don't know how they could win 13 games. But if you really looked at it, if I would have said that, say it would have been a 16-game season, I would have said 12-4, no one would have blinked an eye. Well, think about this: 12-4, and then you add the Bengals game. That's how they went 13-4. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's a winnable game, and that the 13-4 is the new 12-4.
It's true.
I mean, that's just the way it is with the fact that they're playing the Bengals.
They're playing the Bungles.
They are. Did you guys see the question from Gary? I thought it was a good question.
Where?
I've been pondering it.
Would you guys rather have Julio Jones or a healthy Jalen Hurd?
Ooh.
And Megan thinks we're going to all say Jalen Hurd.
Megan, how dare you?
Hey, Megan just put what team is her favorite team down there at the bottom.
So Megan says that they're going to tie Indy, eh?
I don't think so.
God, I hope not.
We don't do ties.
I don't like ties.
Kyle Shanahan will do anything he can to win instead of getting a tie.
Did you see Juszczyk and Buckner's
I did see it.
tweets back and forth? That was funny.
I missed it. What happened?
Buckner said he's going to have some juice.
Juszczyk, they basically joked back and forth, about playing each other, and then DeForest Buckner said he's about to squeeze some juice all over the field.
Lol.
I mean, in a laughing matter, they were joking.
They're joking. They're still getting along. That's good. That's good.
Rams are the hardest team they play this year.
You know what? They could be a lot harder with the fact that they got Stafford.
Could be.
The biggest thing that I always look at with the West teams, though, is the 49ers have the best offensive line. And those guys, all Arizona, Los Angeles and Seattle, have bad offensive lines.
Well, here's the other thing, too, is you've seen what Stafford has done in Detroit with a bad offensive line.
Yeah.
It's called not making the playoffs.
Yeah, but he didn't have a good organization at all.
I agree with you, but here's the other thing. I would argue that his offensive weapons in Detroit were, if not as good, maybe better in Detroit than they are now in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that's just not that impressed with Matt Stafford?
I think you're the only one, because I think that he is an upgrade over Goff, and it's not like we were blowing the Rams out of the water every single game
except for the first time we play them every year.
Right, but I mean, there are tough games against them every year.
It's true.
And the fact Stafford is a better player than Goff, and he will make them better because of it. That's just my opinion. I don't think he's like some great elite quarterback, but I do think he's a top 15 player who's tough, gritty, and can make big-time throws. He's got a big-time arm.
I think he's a top 30 quarterback.
Wow.
No, he's top 15.
Nice.
Top 2015.
You put some respect on his name.
Some respect. David Williams asks,
huh?
Has he earned it?
Yeah, he has.
Dude, he played with a broken freaking collarbone.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't say he's soft. I said I don't know if he's that good.
I would say winning a game
good.
with a broken collarbone is pretty impressive.
He throws for over 4,000 yards almost every year.
Yeah. It's not like he can't do it. He can get it done. It's just team kind of sucks. His organization sucked for a long time. He's in a better situation. I mean, I think this is going to be the year, right, Horace? Would you say this is the year that's going to make or break how he's defined as a quarterback now that he's out of Detroit?
Yeah. Especially with my guy that's coaching the Lions, that I didn't even know who he was until he gave that awesome speech.
Yeah.
The Lions are turning it around.
You hope so.
No, they're not going to, but that guy's funny.
Did you guys see Salah's comments, by the way, too, on his first meeting with the team?
Yeah,
where they got done and the horn sounded,
was the head coach,
and he started to line up in his normal spot like as an assistant, and he was like, "Oh, that's right, I'm the one giving the speeches now." I was like, "Oh, that's."
Then he went back and waxed his head.
Shined it or waxed it?
Either one.
Either one. Okay. David Williams asked, "Who do you guys think is going to be the hardest team that we play?" I would argue Colts, and I would argue Tennessee.
I would answer all these with a non-division team. Just because it's more fun.
Best game? Or
hardest game.
Hardest game? Well, Horse said non-division, so I can no longer answer this question.
Okay, well, what was your division?
Seattle in Seattle. It always is.
Always, yeah, agreed.
Always. So it has to be Seattle in Seattle. It doesn't matter if either team is good or not.
Outside of the division, I would say...
Especially if they have fans there.
Going to Tennessee is going to be pretty rough in December.
Well, also it's a short week. It's on a Thursday, 2 days before Christmas. I think that one's the probably the biggest question mark out of all of them. Even though I have them losing to the Colts and to the Titans, I think that game, the Titans one, is the toughest one because of the just when you're playing them.
Short week. That's
Short week,
and that's
big
the nice
Derrick
thing about
Henry.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What week does Trey start? Week 1 of 2022-2023 season. That's what I think.
The only situation it does make sense is like Matt Burgos brought up in one of our previous live streams. If they're 2-3 going into that bye week,
then maybe.
Or if Jimmy gets hurt, we don't know. But if Jimmy's healthy and the 49ers are playing well, Jimmy's the quarterback.
Accurate.
Luigi, you say that the Cardinals backers are going to give the Niners fits.
They are.
But Isaiah Simmons was terrible.
But they have Zaven Collins too now.
But it doesn't mean
he's playing middle.
Is he going to get used correctly?
Yes, he's playing middle linebacker. They're trading Hicks. Zaven Collins at Mike.
I think he's a stud too. I'm just saying.
And they got Chandler Jones. That's 3 very good linebackers right there.
They kind of scared me with the way they used Isaiah Simmons because they didn't seem like they knew how to use him.
I still don't think they know how to use him.
Well, they were trying to use him in multiple. Now he's going to play a specific role.
Yeah.
And he's going to have Collins next to him. I'm telling you, that is a very good comment because that linebacking core is good.
Yeah. Lou, I agree with you there. They actually give me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies. And every time I think about that linebacking core now, I just keep literally flashing back to draft day when they drafted Zaven Collins and Cardinals fans actually losing their minds and being upset about the pick and just laughing to myself and being like, oh man, you guys are all going to hate yourselves in like 6 months when you realize how good this guy is. So have fun with that. Kenny, could you see the Colts game looking like the 2019 Saints game? Ant actually has a specific game on the schedule that he thinks is going to remind him of that. Ant, go ahead.
Yeah, that game I don't. I think the Titans and 49ers game is going to be a more low scoring game. I think it'll be.
You mean the Colts Niners?
Oh, I'm sorry, the Colts Niners. Thank you.
Gotcha.
I think that'll be more low scoring. I thought that will get right around the 20-point mark, somewhere in there. As far as the game, I think is going to end up being like New Orleans, San Francisco is 49ers versus Falcons. I think that is going to be the one that does. I think there are some matchup issues on both sides of the ball, and the fact that Atlanta, Horse will like this, can't play American defense. They need to atakoi because they can't play American defense, and that's a real issue.
But Yvonne make basket.
Yvonne does make basket, but he can't play American defense.
Who told you that Zaven has poor lateral movement?
You know what? It doesn't matter. I'll tell you right now, Zaven Collins playing in that system. You're playing middle linebacker. You're going downhill. He doesn't have to run people side to side, run people down. And if you think he has bad lateral movement, I don't know who broke that down. But I would like to know.
No,
who said it.
Yeah.
I'm not being a jerk, Alex. I'm really asking: is that your opinion, or did someone tell you that, or
did you see it in a
watch
breakdown?
a show that someone broke down?
I'm guessing somebody said it.
I'm assuming someone did. Yeah.
I've watched it not as near as much as this guy, but I've watched a good amount of film on him, and I did not see that as a weakness.
No, I mean the lateral speed isn't to the level of Micah Parsons, but his lateral speed is plenty good enough to play Mike Backer in this league. And he is a lot faster than like a Navarro Bowman when he's moving. The thing he doesn't do yet is do the things that Bowman can do. He's not going to be as good in coverage as Bowman. He's not going to have his nose to the football as fast as Bowman yet. But this guy gets down the hill and makes tackles in the backfield. He's really good at locating windows and going.
I agree 100%.
Are we twins?
Who?
Is that me and you?
What, because we're both chubby and have beards?
Absolutely not. We are not twins. No.
I was born before him.
And I'm way more attractive.
Yikes.
I think that's 100% true.
Yikes.
I'm definitely way more attractive.
Listen, I'm not in the business of rating your two's looks.
Hey, at least they didn't think we were twins with schnoz.
That's true.
That's
true.
Nice. That's not nice.
Okay, that's his opinion.
Okay.
You saw him get reached. Okay. Fair enough.
Hey, we're not talking mess on you.
Hey, and maybe, you know what, Alex, you may end up being right. So who knows? We're just going to have to find out.
And if he is, we'll tip our cap.
Yeah, you saw something that we all missed.
Yeah.
So that's something we'll keep an eye on, man.
I'm definitely going to be looking for that.
I hope so. Because then he can't get to Raheem Mostert in outside zone.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, I hope he's...
Then that linebacking core isn't as good as we think it is.
I hope he's not as good as we think he is.
It's true.
Yeah.
Tommy says it would be funny if Carson Wentz still sucked. It would be really funny.
That would be funny.
It would be funny.
Except he seems like such a nice guy.
I think
he does, dude. He's actually really.
I think
he was on the McAfee show. He seems like such a nice guy.
Hey, he's gonna bounce back.
I have a feeling he's going to.
Yeah.
Also. Listen,
I hate it because then Jason's gonna be happy, and then
I'm aware because you just thought he was. Listen, I thought at the end of the day, I mean, the stuff he did the year that he was basically the MVP up until he tore the ACL. That version of Carson Wentz is one of the best quarterbacks in football. Can that ever be recaptured? I don't know, and I'm not putting any money or eggs into that basket. I don't know if he can recapture that version of himself. That's a lot of injuries he's sustained. It's a lot of time. Now, granted, Andrew Luck came back after the injuries started piling up and looked phenomenal. So who knows?
Yeah,
maybe. But every quarterback, every person is different. Wentz isn't Luck.
Don, no worries. You are not the first one that thought me and Horst were actually related.
For some reason, and if you see us standing up, I'm like 5'8" and he's like 6'2".
Yeah,
and you can't.
That's the other thing. I can see the mistake from a phone screen because of our beards and stuff. Mm-hmm. But for people that see us standing near each other and think that, I've never understood.
Well, also we have the hats on. If we took our hats off, I think
we'd see some things.
We'd see some differences. One of us has hair.
True. I've seen them both without hats on. I know. It's crazy, but I have.
Alex, you're still
surprise cut or trade. I like that.
Alex is still sticking with that tube over there, huh?
Tuba.
Tube.
My toupee.
Ah, yeah, it's
too perfect. I'm gonna go pull that thing off. You're gonna be like David Spade on Tommy Boy.
Oh no!
blow a fan at you.
That's funny. Surprise cut or trade.
Ooh.
Man, the surprise trade would be, for me, Jimmy. Surprise cut, Tart.
You think they would cut Jaquiski Tart?
If he gets injured in camp, something happens. I could see if he got hurt, I could see it. If he stays healthy through camp, then he's probably good. But if not, Kenny, that's a great question. Where is the helmet?
I would say
it's over there.
Yeah, it's over here. I would say that one of the cuts, or not one of the cuts, but one of the trades could be a running back from the running back room.
Okay.
I just how loaded that room is. I think that's a possibility.
If they feel like Sermon or Mitchell could go this year and they deal basically that person's counterpart.
Right. I don't know if it would happen, but I think that could be a possibility.
All right.
And then as far as defense, I could see maybe one of the defensive linemen getting traded. And especially if they thought they could bring in, somebody that was going to impact the offense and the defense is so deep, they can move on from somebody and trade him for a different position player, maybe.
Possibly. Horst, what about you? Surprise cut or trade?
Offense, I was going to say either Gallman or Wilson.
Okay.
But more likely Gallman than Wilson. Defense. If you're wanting me to come up with one name, I would go DJ Jones. And I mean as a trade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because DJ Jones is a guy I could see a lot of teams valuing in trade. He's a good player.
The only thing is he didn't have the value in free agency.
Because he was hurt.
But the question will be, is one of these position players might need to go for Julio Jones.
Yeah.
So if that is happening,
Greenlaw?
I don't think so.
No,
because they didn't address linebacker. I don't think Greenlaw's going anywhere.
It's true. God, I hope not.
I hope not too. I really want him.
By the way, too, that's another thing we didn't bring up earlier is the Bosa comments on Justin Hilliard.
Yeah,
and how excited Bosa is to have him here in San Francisco.
Yeah, when they texted Bosa, definitely get him here. He wanted him, so I think that's a glowing endorsement.
So,
I think the Pasta Man's gonna make a big name for himself.
A big name in terms of because he's big.
Well, that's Alfredo Gutierrez for anyone that doesn't know who that is.
Yeah, sorry, that's the running.
If you don't get it, it's because his first name's Alfredo.
Alfredo, yeah, 100%.
And he's a man. So there's Pasta Man.
Any possible June 1 cuts you are eyeballing?
I'm assuming he means from other teams?
From other teams or for the Niners? Because I think we're going to have the Weston Richburg retiring, I think, is the thing that I'm eyeballing from the 49ers the most.
Yeah. For From another team, there's a few guys. Obviously, everyone's curious what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I know he's not going to end up in San Francisco now, but everyone's curious. There's a few other guys. Julio is one.
Yeah.
God, who was the other one we were just talking about? Or I was just watching a thing about. It was...
Ooh, Stone Forsythe.
Oh, boy.
Yes. I get to talk about that one when it comes up.
I can't think of who the other person
I'm going to try
was.
and pull up some other post-June first cuts. Ant,
Yeah.
why don't you start this off? And Alex, don't worry about
Yeah,
it. We like
first
you.
off.
We like you
No,
bouncing
we
that
weren't-
off of us. Yeah.
No disrespect. We
No.
were just...
I actually enjoy disagreements. However, I get very aggressive with disagreements, which these guys can tell you about.
It's accurate.
Sometimes, if you don't know him well,
Yes.
he sounds angry.
And
but
I'm
he's
not. I'm really not. I'm a very happy person.
Well, that's not true.
Well, for the most part.
Okay, I tried that. It didn't work. But anyways, as far as Stone Forsythe goes, I think that he's a big, huge guy that doesn't play low, that his technique really suffers. He didn't impress me. I think when we watched film, the first thing I saw was how high his pad level was, how he allowed people to get into his chest plate. And I remember telling you, Alex, when we were watching, the first thing, because Alex is like, he's going up boards. We gotta take a look at this guy. He's climbing up boards. Why? And I'm like, I don't know why, because Nick Bosa is going to get in this guy's chest plate and push him straight back and into the ground.
That's a direct quote.
Yeah.
I feel like we just went back in time.
I just don't see it. As far as in fact, if you were on our live stream during the draft, when the Seahawks drafted him, I laughed. In fact, I cackled.
He did.
It was wonderful. I appreciated that so much.
We were sitting in the living room.
They
Yeah.
took him so early.
I appreciate it so much. Stone Forsythe's pick is great for us because guess what, guys? He's a poor man's Trent Brown. And by poor man, I mean just one calorie, never be as good as Trent Brown.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're not wrong.
No.
You're not wrong. Listen, Stone Forsythe, it was one of those names when his name started popping up, I was a little confused because he's a Florida Gator, and I watch a lot of Florida Gator games. And at no point while watching Florida Gator games did I say to myself, man, that's a top 3-4 round talent guy right there, Stone Forsythe. I always thought, man, he's big.
Yeah.
At times he looks good, but man, he plays a little tall. His technique's not clean. And in the run game, especially when he tries to get second level, he can over pursue. He takes really bad lanes and like angles. And in a zone run scheme, that's a problem.
Yeah.
At the college level, it's not the end of the world because you're not necessarily going to be playing an NFL caliber level linebacking core every game when you step on the field. But man, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of technique stuff. Footwork's not there. And Roll Boy, I get it. PFF said Stone was a steal.
Mm-hmm.
PFF has also graded a lot of guys really high who have done really poorly.
No, PFF is right because he just stole money from Seattle and draft capital. So I appreciate that.
I'm going to answer this one first. I'll give you an offensive and defensive guy who on their team that will improve the most from last year.
Mm-hmm.
Offense, I'm going to go with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Ooh, well, he has to, right?
Defense, Javon Kinlaw.
Yeah, I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
As far as for me on offense, I think it's actually going to be Brandon Ayuk.
That was my other one.
Yeah, I think Brandon Ayuk is going to have even a bigger season just with he's going to have a full, amount of weapons. He's also going to have a legitimate quarterback, whether that is Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance, and that is going to help him a lot. Plus
Or Josh Rosen.
Or he's going to know the season. We don't talk about fake things here. And then also, I think on defense, I think the guy I look to have like a kind of a breakout year is actually going to be Jimmy Ward. I think Jimmy Ward breaks out and has a Pro Bowl season this year.
Okay.
You don't feel he had a breakout year last year?
No, did he make the Pro Bowl? No.
Well, Tony Parrish led the league in interceptions and didn't make the Pro Bowl one year.
Yeah, I just think Jimmy Ward's going to have that kind of year on the best defense in the league, and that he's going to get the Pro Bowl.
Hopefully.
The other one, I couldn't say improved, but I think he's going to have a huge year is Ibaka.
Okay.
But I can't call it improved because he didn't play for the Niners last year.
Very true.
Alex?
Offensively,
Yeah.
I'm going to go with McGlinchey.
Okay.
I think McGlinchey is the guy that I'm keeping my eye on.
Solid choice.
I like it.
In terms of guys that I think is going to have a big year, a blow-up year, 49ers fans are really, really down. Really, really down on him. I mean, there were a lot of negative comments in the Facebook groups that I was in after I posted our video. in there. People basically saying we wasted money.
Yeah.
Can't believe we did that. Blah, blah, blah. So I asked the next logical question, which is, okay, then who's the option if it's not McGlinchey? And it was just radio silence from everybody. It was like, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So you just don't have backup plans. It's just get rid of him because I don't want him there. So McGlinchey, for me, is the guy that I'm keeping my eye on. It's the pass stuff, pass pro improvement, just little improvements.
Yeah.
Not a lot, little improvements. And then the dominance in the run game obviously needs to continue. Defensively, tougher. It's tougher. But if I had to take a stab at it, Armstead.
Yeah, okay.
I think Armstead, especially after last season, had a lot to prove.
Yeah.
He's got a lot to prove this year.
I think
one, the contract was worth paying for, right? And two, all the Buckner, we rather have Buckner. First off, they don't play the same position. Second off, I just think he's got a chip on his shoulder. I think he wants to shut people up. I think he wants to show that he was worth every penny they spent and actually probably should have paid him and could have paid him more. And he's going to go out there and do the work this year and show it. He's going to have a healthy D-line around him. He's going to have a healthy offense to help him out.
Key.
I think he's primed to shine.
The healthy D-line is the key.
Yep.
And second of all, he's got a big square head.
What are some? I've seen some other questions.
Starting safety duo week 1. I'm going Warden Tart.
I am too. Warden Tart.
Barring injury, that's what it is. It has to be.
I like his Jalen Hurd for most improvement. What vet corner would you like post June 1? I don't know who's going to be there, honestly.
I just don't know what options are there. The only names that I've really seen pop up in terms of post June 1 that people are talking and writing a lot about: Rodgers, Julio Jones, Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, but he's saying corners, right? Is that what he said?
Yeah, he's saying corners. But that's what I mean. Is I can't find any info on anyone else that isn't Rodgers, Julio Jones, Odell Beckham, and Michael Thomas is another name that's being floated out there because there's still issues apparently between him and the Saints.
Yeah. I was looking over the corners again the other day. I don't see very many veteran options out there. I know we brought up DJ Hayden already, before.
It's true.
Maybe him.
Possibly.
Josh Norman, if you're looking for an older guy. I mean, he's 34 years old. I don't know if he can still get it done.
No.
He didn't play very many games last year, but...
He's a real dickhead.
We also saw what happened to him when he stepped on the field against Derrick Henry. You guys see that clip?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, where he gets absolutely thrown.
Rob, I think it's because he likes to be annoying.
Probably true. Brad said, going back to the schedule video, someone mentioned Coward had a heel turn on Lance and he couldn't find the video. Did you guys?
I didn't look it up, but we can ask. I'm sure, Rob will know where Caleb found it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Rob, if you could ask Caleb, or if Caleb could tell us where to find the Colin Cowherd heel turn video, I would love to end up watching that.
He turned on Trey Lance?
Yeah, apparently he turned on him. Yeah, he must have broke up with his stepdaughter.
Donnie, I don't think, if you're talking about Gallman is not known as a great special teamer.
Yeah, I mean, I think they brought Gallman in to play running back. I don't think they're looking at him as a great special teams guy, but I think he could add in that area. But I think that's where you're going to expect Elijah Mitchell to add.
That's a good point, Alex. Favorite positional matchup on the schedule: Warner versus Henry.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, that is a good one.
I agree with Donnie about Kinlaw is going to break out.
Yep.
I think so too. I think Kinlaw is going to have one heck of a year,
and he's going to be carrying a rabbit.
Well, he's in his mouth.
Yeah.
Also, just him playing next to Bosa, Ford, Ibaka, Armstead, DJ Jones, all those guys are going to be healthy. That rotation is going to be so much different. And Kinlaw is going to get singled up. He's not going to have double teams. He's not going to have to do as much. He's not going to be thinking as much. His technique is going to be so much better. It improved way so much. Way too much, actually. Just where you saw it going, it was fantastic. Pad level so much lower, right, Horst?
Oh, I think,
wasn't he a guy you broke down in our film session?
The thing I noticed most about Kinlaw from last year is from the first game to about the 10th game, his pad level, his play, his execution, his hand placement, his feet, everything improved.
Yeah.
The other thing I noticed is that he only tended to get high when he was tired by the end. And First of all, that's a lot of guys' problem. And second of all, their starters were having to play a few too many snaps because of all the injuries. Defensive tackles, 325-pound defensive tackles, are not intended to play 95% of the snaps.
Okay. So Caleb put where you can find that video. NFC 3-word game from a few days ago.
And I'm trying to find exactly what it is because there's a chance I can put it up here on the screen and we can get a live reaction to it. So we'll see while I work on that. Listen, at the end of the day, too, another matchup to watch and to watch out for is Jimmy G versus Rodgers. I mean, that's going to be a fun one. It always is. I also like the Kyle Shanahan matchup versus Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the reason I like it so much is just he knows Kirk so well.
Right.
And the Niners have had a lot, the one time now that they've played Minnesota in a big game, did not go well for Minnesota. So I just like that matchup, that Shanahan, especially when it's someone that Shanahan's coached before.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fun to watch what the 49ers do because it just seems like Kyle's a step ahead.
Always. Just like that's how it is with McVay.
Oh, yeah.
What do you guys think about that? Are you guys worried about, because Don brought up D Ford help. I'm concerned about him. Are any of you guys concerned about D Ford?
I'm not that concerned because I'm not counting on him. If that makes sense. I think anything we get out of D Ford, and I'm not sitting here saying he doesn't play the whole year. But I think anything we get out of D Ford is a bonus right now with the amount of good defensive line players we have.
Well, I think I'd be concerned if they wouldn't have addressed it with Ibaka.
Exactly, that's what I'm.
You know what I mean? And I think that would be what I'd be worried about. They have
Arden Key.
They have Jordan Willis, again in camp, and he'll be coming back improved. He's worked, half a season now with Chris Kasarik.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would feel more worried if that happened. I think he's kind of like the cherry on top, the bonus that if he's playing, that's when I see the special things happening with the defense. But I'm not worried about it now.
Ramsey versus Debo.
Very true.
That's a good one. Ramsey versus Debo.
Ramsey versus Debo is always good.
And just the
or how about Donald versus Debo?
Will Ramsey be covering Debo? Or will he be covering Brandon Ayuk?
Possibly. Either one.
You know what I mean? And that means Debo's working against number twos. Or Brandon Ayuk is working against number twos, which are huge advantages.
Hey, another good one to watch is JJ Watt versus potentially Trent Williams.
Or Mike McGlinchey.
It's going to be Mike McGlinchey.
I mean, yes, we all know that.
It's going to be Mike McGlinchey, 100%.
I would love to see Khalil Mack versus Trent Williams. I would love to see those two go at it in the Bears game, but like you said, there's no way they're going to stick them up.
Really? I would love for Khalil Mack to be out that game.
I mean, listen, who wouldn't want him to be out that game, if we're being honest? All right, guys, I got the video. Let me see if I can't pull this in over here and see if we can't get this thing a nice watch with a nice reaction, shall we, boys?
Okay.
Let's see here.
Do you know how long it is?
I'm at the clip already.
Okay.
So I'm already at it. We will just need to live react. So let's see, gents. Let's see what good old Mr. Cowherd. And let me get this.
This is Jason's favorite guy, so I don't trust him.
You don't trust him at all, eh? All right, let's see what Mr. Cowherd had to say, and let's see if we agree.
Defensive coach, they're going to roll with Matt Ryan. I agree with their draft pick of Kyle Pitts. They're going with Matt.
San Francisco 49ers.
Knighting Sir Lancelot. Trey Lance, 318 college passes.
Let me, I almost forgot because the chat can't hear this right now. So let me, audio, boop, boop, boop. All right. Now y'all should hopefully be able to hear this.
Okay.
So you guys can hear this while we talk about it.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
I agree with their draft pick of Kyle Pitts. They're going with Matt.
San Francisco 49ers.
Knighting Sir Lancelot. Trey Lance, 318 college pass attempts. Fewest by any quarterback drafted in the first round in 40 years. Good luck with that.
Oh! Okay, the heel turn is real.
It's a real heel turn. So he did all that nice talking about Trey Lance leading up. 318 yards, 318 passing attempts. Good luck with that. That's interesting.
Yeah. What? Rob Swink asked, where do you think is it the O or the D?
It's a D.
Where's it at? Why am I not seeing it?
It's above Megan's.
Where do you think our D will place this year? I think you talk about ranking in terms of maybe the league.
Yeah, now that I know, who's going to be pretty much on the team, I know I was afraid to say higher than like top 15 or whatever because I didn't know who was going to be on the roster before free agency, but I would say I think they're going to be top 5.
Huh?
If they're going to be top 5, and if they make a severe improvement in the secondary, top 2.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like it.
How they make a severe improvement, though, is going to be the question, right?
Yeah, I don't even have an idea. I'm just
saying
if there's a spot they could improve.
I think if that pass rush is as good as we think it is, they could definitely be up there.
Yeah, which is why I still think there's a signing or another player they're going to be targeting corner-wise coming up at some point. It's just a matter of when. Just a matter of when.
Cow turd.
Cow turd. Good old Tommy. Good old
I
Tommy.
I think the defense is going to be back, and I think the offense is going to be much improved.
Well, I mean, if you listen to Colin Cowherd, good luck. So who knows? It's a cow turd. My bad. Tommy, sorry, my fault.
Yeah,
you set it up, and I just let you down. My apologies.
Don thinks top 3. I don't think he's far off. I think he could be right.
I'll play it safe and go top 5 like you did.
Yeah,
I would say that's the comfortable zone that I'm in. But Horse, I agree with you. If they could find a way to improve the secondary somehow, some way, then we're good. We bought you guys a gift for the set, but if you guys have to open it live on the live stream, don't get your hopes up.
Considering who this is coming from, this makes me nervous.
Hey, Caleb, just do me a solid and don't get us banned.
Caleb, did you pick out this gift or did your father?
YouTube terms of service, gentlemen. Look them up first.
I think the biggest fear is that it's going to smell.
Oh, don't do that.
That's number one. I think you have to worry about it smelling. So I'm kind of nervous about it. I guess there's a nervous excitement.
It gets hot in here, guys. If it smells, it's going to be the worst thing that's ever happened. It's all good, brother. Tommy, how do you know? Are you with Caleb right now? Did you also purchase said gift? Because if Tommy's involved in this, I want no part of this. This man almost struck out the other night. He was close. He was already at strike 2.
Okay, Magnum McCormick agrees with us, top 5.
It's good. It's a good safe place.
I think we're all feeling good about the defense. I really do.
Agreed.
Which means, let me ask you guys, where do you guys think the offense is going to finish?
I don't know.
I'm going to say 9th.
9th? Wow, that's very specific.
Healthy Jimmy, 7th. Trey Lance. If it's Trey Lance that we end up going with, 14th.
Ooh. Mine is going to have less to do with the quarterback and more to do with the surrounding parts.
Okay.
So if we have a healthy, running back room and a healthy Jalen Hurd, I believe it'll be top 10. If we do not, I believe it'll be top 15 to 20.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I did use the sliding scale.
Kenny Seeger.
Right, Kenny Seeger.
Yeah. I was surprised he made it to 58.
Hey.
It's just a fair assessment. He used to jump off buildings and everything.
What about that is inaccurate?
Yeah, burning
that might be
matches.
I'm going to be honest. We've said a lot of accurate things on this podcast. That might have been the most accurate one.
Yeah.
You disagree?
Think so.
Upsetting.
I mean, look.
Apparently Horse was a real friend of the New Jack.
I was a fan of New Jack.
I'm glad.
The gangsters?
I'm a fan of the Jumbo Jack, but I've let it go. It's time for you to as well.
Me too.
Let go of the New Jack as well, Horse.
Oh, no. Lord. Never?
It's like if Sabu died.
Oh, man. Let's be honest. The third strike won't mean jack squat. You would never get rid of your favorite subscriber. You're probably right, Tommy. I can't back that
Magnum McCormick top 15 for the offense. I think everyone's kind of feeling that, yeah.
Listen, I think that's all they need, right? If that offense is top 15 and the defense is top 5, then you're in the driver's seat.
Oh, 100%.
You can easily win a Super Bowl.
Oh, no, both need to be top 1.
Top 1?
Mm-hmm.
What if they're not top 1, then what?
Then they didn't produce excellence, so I'm disappointed.
Yeah, you know how hard it is to be number 1 in both categories? It's pretty ridiculous.
Oh, no, man. It's pretty easy in Madden, you just do it.
Well, some people I know aren't going to be happy.
Did you guys see the players, the quarterbacks trying to give their own ratings for Madden, like what they thought it would be?
They just drop a Leonard Skinner reference on me.
Did you guys?
I didn't see that.
You didn't see that? So Mac Jones said he thought he would be an 85.
Oof.
Yeah. Zach Wilson said he thought he would be a 90. Trey Lance, I think, said an 88. And Justin Fields said he thought he'd be like a 77 to 79.
So
There's the actual Madden player of the group.
There's the humble guy.
No, that's the guy that's actually played Madden and knows they devalue the rookies.
So Jimmy's stats in a healthy full season with this team,
as it's currently constituted,
I'm gonna say 4,200 yards.
Ooh.
33 touchdowns.
Okay.
To 11 picks.
I like it.
That's
Are we all doing that?
And a big old Super Bowl ring.
I believe that this team is healthy. He will not hit 4,000 yards for the reason being they will run the heck out of the ball. So I would say probably around 3,700 yards, and I believe somewhere around the neighborhood of 28 touchdowns. But I think the picks will be limited to 6, and that's why the 49ers do so well.
Okay, hear me out, gentlemen. Hear me out.
I don't know if I want to do this.
2019 season,
Yeah.
right? Easily his best year of his career. Obviously. 69% completion percentage, 3,900 yards, 27 tutties. Okay, 13 interceptions. Healthy team, healthy running back room, healthy roster. Fair to say he's going to have under 500 attempts throwing the football.
I think that's fair.
So, 72% completion percentage. I'll say 4,000 yards even. Okay, 4,000 yards even. 25 touchdowns. 4 picks. Okay? And like you said, Ant, the run game is where it's at. The reason I give him the 4,000 is because I feel there are going to be a couple of shootout potential games, or games where the 49ers are going to get off to hot starts, where teams overload the box, and he has a chance to exploit them early. So he has a couple games where maybe he throws like 20, 22 passes for like 350, 400 yards, something like that, because they're just big plays over the top. If Jalen Hurts is healthy too, God help every team that the 49ers face. Because in the red zone, what are you going to do? How do you stop this team?
It could be difficult.
You can't load the box. You're going to stick 5 wideouts out there with Kittle. At least we're playing in Santa Clara and not in a van down by the river. Agreed, Tommy.
Did you see they announced it's going to be a full stadium?
Yeah, they did.
It is. Yeah. By the way, there's a guy on Facebook selling his season tickets, folks. Row 101. Section 101, row 36. I think it's like 24,000 for 2 tickets.
If I had money, that would be God.
Mm-hmm.
24,000. Okay.
Yeah, 24 grand.
Leonard Skinner, how you see him live lately?
Coming into the season, which area are you guys most concerned about? I think it's cornerback. That was from Magnum McCormick.
Yeah, I think cornerback and...
You have another spot you're worried about? I'm worried about your neck from all the shaking.
No.
It's loose.
Todd.
Who do you think then, Horst?
I'm worried about the injury list.
That's the position you're worried about?
Yeah. Well, I think that's why you're worried about the cornerback position. So if Jason Verrett or Emmanuel Mosley get hurt, you got
next man up.
Ambry Thomas or Diamador Lenore. Okay. Trial by fire.
We saw that worked with Brian Allen last year.
They're better than Brian Allen.
I'm better than Brian Allen.
No,
you're slow.
Prove it.
I can't back that up.
And chubby.
Prove it, Horst. Race me.
You're faster than me?
I'll race you.
I never said that I was fast enough to play in the NFL.
We should do that.
You really want to race?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be fun.
That's actually a pretty interesting... Wait, can we live podcast and take bets on this?
I might have to get into some shape, Horse.
We'll give it...
I definitely got some speed training.
I need to do some stretching for like a month.
We also got to set parameters, right? How long are we going?
We aren't going to set it up exactly, but can we time this somewhere around the last week of July?
Maybe during like training camp time. Yeah.
Or do you want to go August?
We'll do a 49ers cutback training camp.
Yeah.
Okay, so you heard it here. August. We got the big dog versus the medium dog racing. Those of you that don't get it, haven't seen the big fellow here run fast when he's in shape.
Ant's fast. He's fast even when he's not in shape, dude. Ant just doesn't look fast, and then you see Ant running.
Yeah, but he hurts himself when he's out of shape.
It's true. If I'm out of shape and I'm not stretching and all that, and I run, there's a possibility I could get injured.
Tell me you're a nice guy.
How am I going to podcast with an injury?
I mean, it's real easy, you know. You're just gonna sit down, you're just gonna show up, you're just gonna do what you need to do, you know.
The Rocky Balboa montage.
Basically.
We
No, I mean, yeah. You Rocky? I mean, I like it.
Megan, you're gonna have to be at that one to film.
It's probably true, Megan. That's gonna be your job, sweetie. So,
I'm the announcer, clearly, right?
Easily.
Oh yeah.
Will Richburg be cut on June 1, or any chance he is the right guard? That's a good question, Brad.
I think there's a outside chance he's the right guard. I'd put that at about 10%, and I put 90% on him retiring post June 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should have broke your thumbs.
It shocked me there. You can see the nostrils flaring. That's why. Oh my lord! Do you still think there is a possibility of a Gilmore trade? It's less likely.
I think it's looking less likely. I won't put anything past Bill, and the fact that Bill. I don't know what the savings are post June 1. We need to look that up. If there is a big savings to the Patriots by going post June 1, he would definitely do that, because I know they're sniffing around Richard Sherman. I did see that they're sniffing around possibly bringing in Sherman.
Interesting. Really?
Yeah. Yep. I follow a lot of the Boston media just so I can keep up on what Belichick's doing. He's always got something up his sleeve.
True.
It's usually bad for everyone else. You know what I'm saying? But I think that is the biggest question, is going to be what the salary cap savings is for the Patriots. Because if not, why would the Patriots do anything else? They loaded up on guys. You know what I mean? And the fact they didn't move them on draft day.
True. So there is no difference. It's $8.5 million in dead money.
So
pre or post.
I would say they're not going to trade him then.
Yeah. Pre or post, $8.5 million in dead money. They save $7.7 million pre or post June 1.
Oh, they saved $7.7 million.
Well, they save cap savings is 7.7, but it's a dead cap hit of 8.5.
Okay, still a possibility then, because at 7.7 million savings that could roll over to next year. Yeah, definitely, I could see Bill doing that.
Good.
Yes, he's not going to worry as much about beating Brady. Yes, he'll want to beat Brady, but he's more worried about getting to the playoffs and going to the Super Bowl
against Tom Brady.
Tom Brady ain't going to be there. He's going to be playing the 49ers.
I don't disagree with you, but I mean, listen, the NFL has shown that they'll try and make storylines work.
Not this time.
Not this time?
No.
I agree with Gary. Speaking of thumbs, there are only 13 likes. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell as well. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed
that'd
already.
Be wonderful.
We've seen some new names tonight.
We have.
We got a new name rolling across the shop there, Mr. Jack Seha. Okay? So make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe, and comment, guys. Let us know what you're thinking about all this. Let us know what you're thinking about rookie minicamp, Trey Lance. We played Colin Coward's three-word game. You heard Colin Coward's comments on Trey Lance. And that basically, good luck, 49ers, dealing with a guy who has 318 career passing attempts in college at the D2 level. Man, that's
wonderful.
That happened quick. That was a real quick heel turn. There was no build-up either.
Yeah.
It's just one of those WWE time where a guy just shows up and they don't know what to do with him anymore. And they're like, by the way, you're a bad guy tonight. Have fun.
I liked it. I like the little turn.
I like that Huxley's still dropping Rocky.
It's a waste of life. I think that
Who says that, Alex?
Huh?
Who says that quote in Rocky?
I'm blanking.
Mick.
Is it? Oh, it is Mick. You're right.
When he tells him he could have been a good fighter, but he became a leg breaker. And he says it's a living. He says, "A living, a waste of life."
It's a waste of life. I think that heel turn was more of him saying, "Don't rush him this season and don't make him start. Let him sit." Maybe. He could have just said that also. Oh, but it's a 3-word game. You could have just said, "Make him wait."
Yeah. Can't start now. Something like that. You know. Yeah. Don't start.
Don't
now.
knight Lance.
Yeah.
Lance not quite ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Lance so not.
Needs more seasoning.
Needs more seasoning. I like that. I like that horse.
I mean, maybe. I guess it all depends on how you look at it. I kind of like to look at it as a possible heel turn.
Pepper the gumbo. Really?
We're going Ogeron? You're going to pepper the gumbo?
Interesting. Very, very interesting there, Horst. Indeed.
So, should we open it up for questions?
Yeah, we should. So, chat, any questions, any more questions that you have, throw them out there right now. Let's get to the Q&A. let's get to the fun part of the night for y'all, the fun part of the night for us.
We've had a lot of good questions already.
Yeah, we've had a lot of good ones already, but let's get into the nitty-gritty. What do you guys want to know about? What do you want to hear about? What guys do you want to talk about? Is there anyone from Minicamp that you want to know more information about? Let us know. Hit us up. We want to know.
I want to know what is going to happen, with the rest of Minicamp. You know what I mean? As far as I'm curious what they delve into and then what the responses are from everybody that watches it.
We know what the responses are going to be. Oh, they're not doing this and they're not doing that. And at least Tevin Coleman's not in camp because then at least when they handle the ball, it won't be just 3 yards and that's all he's going to do. Nonsense. Just nonsense.
Tevin Coleman, the injuries hurt him last year, but
he's a good player.
He's a solid player. I think he'll do okay with the Jets. I think the Jets with him.
His time as an elite running back in the league is just gone.
Is stone vertically challenged. A little bit, yeah.
He's definitely not tall.
Yeah.
He's definitely not tall. Is the trade deadline the same, or did they change it because of the new schedule? I think they kept it the same.
I think they kept it the same. I'm not 100% on that Magnum, but I think they kept it the same.
I'll pull it up to be double check and make sure.
Yeah.
Caleb, what do you mean, like a least favorite player, least favorite part, another team?
He said least favorite O.
That's what it was.
Yeah, that's a good question. Hasty on the practice squad?
I think he wouldn't get. I think someone would take him.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it to the practice squad.
Okay, one more question, Caleb. Are we talking least favorite 49ers or least favorite football players?
Yeah.
Because if it's not
correct, they're just going to be told how things went at camp. But that's why I'm curious to see, because a lot of times when you can't see it, then you can't be verified on what was saw. And when you can't be verified on what was saw, then you can say what you want.
True.
That we've seen that all throughout the offseason. It was like, oh, we don't know what's going on in San Francisco, so we're going to make up stories and assumptions. And that's part of it, too. When the media is present, the 49ers don't run the same stuff they would run when media isn't present because they don't want any secrets given away.
Wait, the media they're not allowed back the rest of the rookie camp? Oh, good.
No, they're made available today.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't want the media anywhere near the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. When are you guys going to let Alex sit with you? Never. Never. That's my TV up there. I'm special, Kenny. I have a special little box to contain my schnoz and my loud demeanor.
Well, and those that don't know, Alex is actually in the same room with us.
I am. I'm actually with them.
Yeah.
So I'm not actually virtually. I've been here the whole time. I'm just not physically next to the two fine, swell twin brothers over there.
Horse, he did say least favorite 49ers of all time.
I'm going to drop you right now with Kyle Williams. It's definitely up there. For obvious reasons.
Don't get him started.
Let's see.
How about Antonio Langham? He wasn't good. He was not good.
There's a few, man.
That might actually be Fudgehead's least favorite 49er of all time. Because the minute you say the words Antonio and then Langham, woo! He flies off the handle.
I think we have an idea who my guy is, so.
The Alextron 5000.
It's got to be Purcell, right?
He's one of them, that's for sure.
Kyle Williams was Dookie. Who's the other one? Yeah.
Purcell. Mike Purcell. I still don't know how he existed on the roster for that long.
I don't know. Ask, what's his face?
And, of course, Ron Jeremy. He wasn't a player, but
it's
my
true.
Least favorite coach of all time.
Least favorite coach of all time. That's actually a really good one. Least favorite coaches of all time, Horst. Who's your least favorite 49ers coach? Kenny Seeger with the Lawrence Phillips.
Huh? Yes, I'm gonna have to.
Lawrence Phillips.
I would have to go with Tom Sula.
Any specific reasons for that, or just the standard?
One, he came after Harbaugh, and I really enjoyed Harbaugh's antics. And the way he got the job was so cowardly by talking behind Harbaugh's back to management.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had meat sweats. And then he farted during a press conference and wouldn't own up to it.
Sounds like something Grant King would do. Not gonna lie.
How much do you guys hate the Sea Hags? 11 out of 10.
Yep. Dislike them.
Strong despisal of the Sea Hags.
It's true. Not a big fan.
Fartgate. It was. It really was Fartgate. It really was
It was annoying.
Fartgate. Well, he just...
That's embarrassing. Your team's coach farting on TV.
Of course, it happens, man. He's human. Like, don't let that be the reason.
that was definitely like... That was just one of many.
Yeah.
It was just one of many.
Well, there's not a lot of cornerbacks sitting out there for us. There are wide receivers that could make us better. River, Benjamin, Sanu, Jennings. Yeah.
Listen, I mean, those are all accurate. And the Niners, I mean, if the rumors are true about, Deshaun Hamilton, then they're looking at options.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're willing to they're not willing to give up a whole lot in order to make it happen, which is why it tends to be my belief that is what would make the Julio thing less likely. Is I don't know if the Niners are willing to give up that much capital.
It all depends on what the capital is.
It really does. It really does.
Yeah. What are you gonna do if they trade for Julio Jones?
I'm fucking gonna buy a Julio Jones jersey tomorrow.
Exactly.
Well, actually, here's the question. No, I'm not gonna do that because
he's 11.
is
And
Brandon Ayuk giving up that number?
Probably not.
I really hope
Julio
he does.
changes
Hey,
number.
I really hope he does because I would love to see my brother's reaction. Horace, wouldn't you just love that? Xavier's reaction to finding out that Brandon Ayuk is no longer 11 and he owns a Brandon Ayuk jersey.
Yeah.
Horace, levels of greatness. How great would that be?
8.3 out of 10.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good odds. I like those numbers.
It's almost as good as showing up to his house and peeing on his tire.
That never happened.
I do like Uncle Rob saying Mike Nolan. That was another one.
Jesus, Tommy.
You could add a Dennis Erickson to that. I think he was a tough guy to get behind overall.
It's true. True. It's not wrong. Who starts after Warner and Greenlaw? Horst, who do you got?
Third backer would be Alshire right now.
Nathan Jerry.
It's gonna be one of those two.
If Fred Warner is out, then Alshire's playing at Mike.
Yeah.
But if it's as far as the third outside guy, I think it's going to be Nathan Jerry. I think that's why they brought him in. I think he's going to push Alshire, and I think he'll start. He started 19 of 23 games. I mean, he's played a lot of football. So
true. By the way, shout out Tommy. All of us are your hashtag fam. You're ours too, man. We appreciate it. Everyone out here in chat, all 809 of you that are part of the Cutback community, we appreciate all of you. We love y'all. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
It really is.
Having all of these guys here, having everyone partaking and participating in all of this. I mean, this thing has blown up to a point where faster than all of us hoped it ever could, and we got no one to thank but y'all.
Yep, we really appreciate everybody being on the live streams, commenting on everything. I think that's the best part is all the interaction. I think without the interaction, it wouldn't be as fun. And the comments during the week with some of the great questions also have been fantastic. I've enjoyed going through them. They make me think, and then they also help us get ideas for things that we need to talk about. So it really is nice to have everyone involved and everyone contributing.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes it so much fun, and that's why I enjoy doing it.
Yep. No, for sure. Indeed, 49ers fans, we love y'all. Cutback community, you're great. You feed this channel. You provide us with the energy. You provide us with the motivation, and sometimes the content, which is also great because at the end of the day, we want to make what we want to make, but we also want to make stuff that you enjoy.
Yeah.
So if you enjoyed this live stream, you enjoyed this conversation, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. That notification bell. That way you're notified for every single post we got coming up.
Every single one.
Yeah, because look, rookie camp is just getting started, but we got camp coming up. We got training camp. We got preseason. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up. And I just missed a funny comment.
Yeah, that's a new one. First off, thanks, Kenny. We really appreciate it. Second of all, Brad Jones said we are the perfect hangover for a Saturday morning.
Nice.
That's awesome, Brad. Appreciate that. We've never had that one, but I'll make sure to use that one at some point. I'm just gonna go to the bars now and be like, what's a perfect cure for a Saturday morning hangover? 49ers Cutback.
49ers Cutback, if you didn't know.
Yeah.
Tommy, you're a sweetheart. It is big. It's huge. Megan, you're 100% right. Road to 1K. We're on our way, boys.
Yep. Yeah, thanks, Lou G. Always good. Lou G's on everything all the time. Great comments. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. All right, gentlemen. I think we know what time it is.
All right, Magnum. We're about to end this thing, but we appreciate you too. But until next time, guys, you know what time it is. Let's chalk another one up.
See you all in the next one.
From the alley-oops at Kezar to the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way. From off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers cutback.